Hello everybody and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. And if you just missed it, France have absolutely hammered Italy 50 points to 10 in the Six Nations opener. An absolutely incredible performance by France, who are starting to really sort of throw the gauntlet down, not only for the Six Nations, but to be considered one of the best sides in the world at the moment. And that is largely due to, in my opinion, the current best player in the world, Antoine Dupont, an absolute masterclass, deserved man of the match. He played less than 60 minutes, got 3 try assists and a try himself. And you look at the try assists, and one was a kick behind, the other one was a pop over the shoulder, and the other one was very good follow-up play, and then he shifted to the right. He was absolutely everywhere. A brilliant performance by him. Teddy Thomas as well, fantastic performance. Bryce Dulin also had a fantastic counter-attacking try. I mean, France were just all over Italy, and Italy just couldn't match them at all. And the weird part is that especially early in the game, Italy had chances to try and make their mark and try and get something going on the game itself, but they just couldn't take their chances. And as a result, France just took advantage of that, because all they had to do was keep in the game. And I mean, there was a stage in the first half where I think Italy had about 18 phases before conceding a penalty, and that was the problem, is that, but that was it really. That was the only time they managed to sort of keep the ball. Every single time they got a little bit of momentum, France would turn over the ball, or Italy would make a mistake. And look, I mean, Franco Smith's trying something with Italy. He's a very young side. I mean, he's backing some very inexperienced players. But, you look at that side and you just think, how is it going to compete with a side like France? It just can't at the moment. And it was very telling, to be honest. I mean, you look at some of the players, and there are some very talented players in the Italian side. You look at somebody like Paolo Garbisi, who is, I mean, he's 20 years old, and he's been backed to try and do a job. And I think Italian fans will have to be quite patient with this side, because there are some very good players. Stephen Varney and Garbisi are a very good combination. They are a class pairing. And the biggest thing is, can the side just sort of weather the storm and then try and build? But Franco Smith, the ex-Cheetahs coach, was very... he was quite productive in terms of going about it, and he wasn't going to sit there and not change things. I mean, he brought on his 2 props, I think after about 30 minutes, after I think it was about 2 scrums. But the first scrum, they got absolutely dominated, and Franco Smith's first thing was right. Rimpelli and Riccioni off the field, and Fischetti and Zlocchi, he went on. I mean, making those sort of replacements very early. Try different things, but that French side, it's too star-studded, it's too good. They control the game. They make their opportunities count. They'll exploit the defense whilst having a very good defense themselves. Sean Edwards has made the French defense very, very solid. And you look at some of the names that really stood out for me today. Teddy Thomas was everywhere. Mathieu Jalabert, who is getting a chance because Intermac is currently injured. He took that chance with both hands. Made some very good runs. Had a very good try assist. Well, not try assist, but created a try, which he then offloaded to Dupont, and then Teddy Thomas went over in the corner. Bernard Leroux and Paul Willems, so the engine room was very good. They were topping the tackling stats, and they just sort of physically dominated Italy. And when they had the opportunity, as soon as the ball sort of went wide, went to the back line, you kind of felt like something was going to happen. And something did happen more than once, as they went on to score 50 points. And apart from a terrific individual effort by Sperendio, it was largely, it was just very ordinary from Italy, to be honest. They had moments. There was a Monty Mahoney try, which was disallowed. But apart from that, they actually spent more time in the French 22 than France did in the Italian 22. You look at the time in opposition, 22 meters, and Italy spent 5 minutes there, whereas France spent 2 minutes 45 seconds, which just shows you how France didn't actually have the bulk of territory but made their chances count. Italy spent more time in the French half than France on the Italian side. And I mean, time and possession, I think France had more possession I think it was sort of, it was 57-43. So it was relatively even, but territory-wise, it was 54% Italy, 46% France. But Italy just couldn't make their opportunities count. And you look at some of the sort of more the telling stats, which just showed you bad passes. There were 13 to Italy, 7 to France, 13 hand errors to 7 from France, 5 breakdown steals by France, just the 2 from Italy. France was just outplayed them in every single facet of the game, and that was just the issue, is that Italy just couldn't get themselves into the game because they were just outplayed in pretty much every single in every single phase. They missed 27 tackles. Look, France missed 19 tackles, so there's something that they'll want to work. But, Italy were asked to make just 113 tackles and missed 27, whereas France were asked to make 182 and missed 19. So as I said, just in every facet of the game, Italy were just completely outplayed. Set pieces, the scrums, yeah, it was a bit of a disaster when it came to the scrums. Line-out wise, it was fairly even, to be honest. I don't think there was too many line-outs that were still. I think France stole 2 line-outs. But yeah, it was, as I said, the line-outs weren't too bad. But Italy conceding 12 penalties to France's 9. You look at every single statistic, and it just shows you that France were just too good, and Italy just couldn't do anything about it. So, look, I think as an Italian fan, you've got to remain patient. You've got to think that this is a very good France side. Dupont, as I said, masterclass by him, a very good back line, very big physical forwards. France have gotten their flair back, and there was another example of just how good they are today. So as Italian fans, you've got to look at that match and you've got to think back the players really, and hope that eventually it will get better, because what else can you do? What can you do when you're playing against a side that is that good? You just got to just stick with the guns, keep improving, and try and build something, which I think is the plan from Franco Smith. And I said in my preview, they just want to try and build something so that they can compete eventually. I don't think the idea is to compete now. It's to try and just sort out different aspects of the game as they grow as a team. But France, that is how you sort of announce yourself in the Six Nations. For me, it's between them and England. I did favour England in the preview. I think that their squad is just too good, but it depends on which French side pitches up. If France pitches up, they can play, they can take England down to the wire. And England did win on points difference last season, so this season could be as close as that. Please subscribe to the channel, smash a like on the video as well. We'll be live very shortly for a watch along of the England versus Scotland game. There'll be a review there, as well as a live watch along of Wales versus Ireland. So make sure you keep everything locked on Forever Sports. My name is Stephen, and I'll chat to you very soon.